Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us tonight on episode 9 of the Steve and the Hood Percent Boston Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Thompson, co-host Chris the Hood Blackie. Got a special guest tonight, Nick Gelso, founder of CLNS Media Network. Thanks for coming on with us tonight, Nick. Definitely appreciate it.
What's up, fellas? Thanks for having me. Man, I appreciate the offer, man. Anytime you talk C's, and it's getting so close to the season that I'm ready. Right?
Yeah, us too. Less than a week away, so we'll probably start everything up. So
yeah, I mean, really, it starts with media day, right? And then training camp. You start getting a steady flow of coverage. If you're a diehard fan, you really can start paying attention starting on Monday and then straight through to opening night. But I still say the official tip-off of the NBA season is always Christmas Day.
Nice.
That's when people really start paying attention.
That's accurate.
And that's good because the Celtics are going to probably get out of the gates slow. I think they're going to struggle out of the gate.
Yeah, I think so. They're going to find their identity and, what roles for which players. It's going to be a good season.
It is. I mean, I think that, yeah, you're right. Identity, it's a brand new locker room completely. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be similar or not. I tend to think it's probably going to be a bit less loose. The Isaiah Thomas-led locker room was very, for the most part, media-friendly and pretty loosey-goosey, These guys, and I've not really gotten to obviously cover any games with them yet because they're new to the team. But these guys seem, Hayward and Irving, they seem to be pretty serious dudes. So I think it's going to be a more serious locker room. It's going to be fun to cover.
I can't quite figure out Hayward because he seems kind of like he's off in space at times. He doesn't want to be bothered with stuff. That's the situation I look at with him, but I don't really know. Just a quick observation of him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't follow him, I guess, at least not off the court, or how his, relationship with the fans were or whatever when he was in Utah. So I can't really judge that. I mean, I've only really seen, I was on the conference call, when they did the conference call the night he was, they signed him. And then they did the press conference to introduce both he and Kyrie, and both of those occasions he was really engaged. He was talkative and really answered everybody's questions. Now, from what I've heard, he's a pretty private guy, but we've dealt with guys like that before too, who end up being. Larry Bird was pretty private, So Boston fans love. It doesn't matter if you're good on the court as long as you're not a jerk, for the most part, and you're good on the court, you play hard every night. That's all that really matters. So, but I'm interested to see how Hayward kind of fits in too. It's really the whole dynamic of this new team coming together it's interesting.
Yeah, with 4 guys coming back from last year. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's unprecedented after a finals, NBA or Eastern Conference Finals appearance to have a team totally take a different shape. It is a totally different team.
Yeah, it's a lot of guts, from Danny to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and just say, yeah, I'm going to pretty much blow it up.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like, to me, I think about it on paper, whether you look at it from the short term or the semi-long term, 4 or 5 years out, it looks really promising. I mean, but that's it. That's if all the pieces come together. But on paper, they have some holes to fill. But it's a really impressive plan that he's enacted. Now, what do you have to worry about? Well, obviously, certain players not playing up to their potential, and then also, personality conflicts or injuries, right? So, but on paper, it looks pretty damn good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, it sure does. I just think once the
big man. We need a big man, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think once they all get together and if everything pans out perfectly with the youth, obviously Golden State's going to slow down, and right when they're kind of peaking, I think the team can rip off multiple titles easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say I disagree with you. I'm not predicting that, but I think they have potential to be really in the championship hunt every year for the next several years. I mean, and that's a really promising place to be in. And you're right about Golden State, and who knows when that's all going to, whether to age, injury, or contracts. Who knows how that situation is going to end up 2, 3, 4 years from now. And you just never know. When you get to a 7-game series, it's just going to be a matter of the Celtics fighting through to get to the finals. And we're probably a year or two away from it. I would say at least a year away from that. I still think Cleveland, barring Isaiah's health, which is such an odd situation, are still the better team. And I think that Tristan Thompson just kills the Celtics.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that guy's a beast.
No answer. He just always has. Even back in like the KG era, he was a pain in the ass, Tristan Thompson.
No doubt about that. I saw somewhere today reading an article where they had the Celtics in the finals this year coming up versus Golden State. I don't remember who it was through, but I thought that was kind of. I think it's a 7-game series between Cleveland and Boston. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah. And when you go to a 7-game series, you take it the length, anyone could win. I mean, we've seen that over and over and over again. And yeah, I think it goes at least 6 or 7. And I've heard a few people here in the local media in particular probably talk about, saying predicting maybe a finals berth, but I don't think it's unrealistic. I just don't think it's going to be. A lot of things are going to have to fall into place for that to happen. And again, like who's going to defend the glass against Tristan Thompson or Gortat for that matter?
Right.
So who do you see getting the final spot on the roster for the Celtics?
I mean, I honestly, obviously they need a big, but did they sign Tony Allen? I don't even think they've signed Tony Allen yet, but it's another wing. It just doesn't help the size issue. I hope Bogut's now out in LA, right?
Yeah.
Who's left? This is like I saw. You get asked this question this time of year. I think it's a matter now of who's left. Gasol's never coming to Boston. I would be. Yeah. Then again, you know what, guys? A month ago, or a month and a half ago, or whenever Kyrie demanded the trade, I actually said the exact same thing. Not that they're in the same category. Obviously, Kyrie's at a different point in his career. He's better, but I never saw Kyrie coming to Boston.
I think Tony Allen signed with the Pelicans.
Tony Allen, right? That would have been nice, Tony Allen, but he's up there, and he can't. He's a great defender, but he doesn't really have the size to defend LeBron. So he's not going to be defending the glass. To me, the paint is the only real downfall of this team. And I would say 100% Ainge and Stevens know that. It's just a matter of what personnel is available. I can't see any more trades happening, although I don't know what to believe, guys. This offseason was absolutely insane. Usually you look forward to the break, and there has been absolutely no break. I think there was maybe a couple days here and there, but no consecutive days without something big happening in the NBA. And in particular with the Celtics, they were in the news every day, it seemed like. And the NBA has done an amazing job of making it a 12-month out-of-the-year league. It really has become that way.
Yeah, I think Thomas Robinson's out there. He's a big, but
he's going to sit at the end of the bench. But you take what you could get at this point. Because first of all, you got any injuries. It's just the Celtics are so thin in the front court. It's just at the center position. I just don't like Al Horford. I like Al Horford at the center. I don't care. But Al Horford's not. He's not he's not going to be a shot changer. You know what I mean? He's not a physical guy. He's more of a finesse big. And I do like Baines a lot. I don't know enough about Morris to really judge too much. I mean, I haven't watched too much of him. Although I know he looks just like his brother with the Wizards. I mean, but yeah, I mean, a big is a must. I think. I don't know who's available. The names you rattle off are going to be the end of the bench type guys. So yeah. I don't know what he's going to do.
I think without in a trade, which seems unlikely, it's not going to be a game changer anyways.
Well, I mean, I can see him doing something around the trade deadline, maybe with Al. I mean, it depends on how the season goes. Well, I can tell you guys, I think expectations for this team are very high. I think the Celtics are very, very patient with them coming out of the gate. I think the record is it's not excruciatingly hard, but it's difficult. I mean, legitimately, they could open the season 0-2 if they drop it in Cleveland, and that Milwaukee game in Boston is absolutely. It's either a trap game because you won opening night, or it's just a game that you could pretty easily lose. I mean, the Bucks always give the Celtics trouble, and I think Brad Stevens' team starts slow anyway, right? And I think you add in the fact that it's a whole new roster with pretty big egos and personalities and a lot of minutes to manage. I think they're going to struggle out the gate. I don't really even have a season prediction this year because I don't know. I just don't know. I know that I think they'll be judged by the team where they end the season, not how they begin the season.
Well, clearly, if they don't make at least the conference finals, it's a lost season in my eyes.
I think so. Yeah, although Washington is really good, and
they're good.
They're great, and like I said, Milwaukee, barring any injuries. Now I've heard that the Greek Freak has some knee issues. I've been hearing. But, I mean, barring any major injuries, the Bucks are really good. I mean, and then it gets really ugly in the East. But Cleveland, Washington, you're going to face one of those two on one side of the bracket. So I agree with you. I mean, in my eyes, I say, yeah, this team has to at least go to the conference finals. It would be really nice if they got it to 6 or 7 games. God willing, if they got it to advance to the NBA finals.
It's icing on the cake at that point.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, guys. Like, I'm not willing to predict one way or the other, because I don't know. I mean, truth is, the team has enough talent that if everything clicked and it clicked at the right time, I think they could get to the end. They could beat Cleveland. I mean, the Isaiah injury is really concerning, I think, especially the way they handled it so poorly. And I think they could beat Cleveland. If I've seen it happen in 2010 when LeBron, knew he was leaving and he pretty much threw his hands up against the air. That Cavs team never should have lost to the Celtics in 2010. So I've seen LeBron do it before. I mean, I don't know. Nothing is impossible, right? Anything is possible.
Well, that's the one thing I was thinking about, where you don't know if he's going to be back in Cleveland. I think he's gone personally.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
If you go to a Game 7 in Boston, you start opening up on Cleveland a little bit, I think you might see same thing as last time. He's just going to say the hell with it and just going to let it be what it is.
Yeah, I mean, he's a much different player now than he was in 2010. He's won championships and he's grown up a lot, LeBron, but I nothing is impossible. I mean, listen, if everybody on the team knows the leader of the team is leaving, I mean, it could hurt them, but again, it's going to just be a really fun season. I'm just ready for it to start. I'm ready for Monday to come around. At least from our standpoint, from coverage, it never really stops. But I mean, actually physically covering, being in the same room with the team, it really starts Monday, and then 3 days in Rhode Island, and then back to Boston Friday, and then preseason is here. So it flew by. It really flew by. I mean, who would have thought that last year when you're watching, the Celtics get eliminated and Bradley's up at the press table and he's talking about what they have to work on to improve over the offseason to be a better team and come back and beat Cleveland. And now, here we are looking at a completely different team. It's crazy.
Sure is.
It's crazy.
So,
Sports is great.
Yep. What are your expectations for Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum this year?
Well, I think Jaylen's going to start, although I think, like I said, Brad's going to probably tinker with that quite a bit. And we've also seen the fact that Stevens, he'll start somebody and it really doesn't. I mean, he would start a mirror and yank him after 90 seconds sometimes, especially towards the end. But I think that Brown is. I know what I would like to see him. Maybe have a little more composure offensively. He seems to get flustered a little bit quick. I think he's a good defender, and his shot could be a little bit better. But he's great. I like him when he actually posts up a little bit. He's got that nice turnaround jumper. And then Tatum. I mean, I probably expect him to have a similar year to Jaylen's last year. But he has far more potential, I think. Far more. I mean, it was summer league, but he was just impressive to watch.
Yeah, the game winner he hit was pretty impressive. First game.
Yeah, I was at that game. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, but the thing is that he was impressive to watch too, because he just looked, and I know, like, again, it's summer league, but he looked just more composed and more deliberate than the players he was playing against. He looked like Lonzo Ball looked like a little kid out there.
Right.
But I think we're going to have a lot of the Celtics, and Celtics fans are going to have a lot of fun watching Tatum develop and grow into an all-star and hopefully a superstar. And when Ainge will trade anybody, but when he has a kind of obsession and he takes somebody off the table, well, you see, I mean, he means it. He was not getting rid of Brown. I mean, he traded away the heart and soul of the team, but yet he wouldn't touch Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum. I mean, that says a lot for their potential.
Yeah. Right. With all the rumors that you keep hearing constantly about Davis, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it ever does come to that point, I think he has no choice but to get rid of one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how that deal would work, to be honest with you. I mean, I would think Horford would be in there, and you'd want to dump his salary anyway. And I would think you would have to give up, at least one, if not both of those guys. I mean, you'd have to, I would think.
Wow.
And
I'm a UK guy, so I love it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I mean, and honestly, I don't know how the money works. I mean, that rumor, I always look at it like the rumors always seem to fester. Especially with Ainge, because he plants a lot of rumors, especially to the local. He plants a lot of rumors, so it seems like you'll hear the same people. Like you've heard Hayward for years, right? And you heard Garnett for quite a while prior to that deal happening. So and Anthony Davis has been talked about a lot. So I'm sure that he's probably had dealings with them, and same thing with Gasol. You hear every year Gasol's name come up. So I think any of these things are possible if there's the right combination of players and contracts and money to make it work. That I don't know. It's not like my gig as far as salaries go and all that. I'll just wait and let Danny handle that.
Right.
And the cap guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The cap guys you see on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm just not a cap guy. I'm not a spreadsheet guy. I don't want to see them. I see enough of them running the business during the day. I don't want to look at spreadsheets with formulas for basketball. Now, that said, I really respect their knowledge and how smart they are in that way. I mean, my mind just doesn't work that way. I just basically, I'm more of a personality guy. I like to watch the storylines within the game. And as far as spreadsheets and the cap and all that stuff, I'll leave that to the experts.
Definitely.
Cool. So what are your thoughts on Paul and Ray making amends recently? You think the rest of them follow suit? Big group
I don't
meeting?
think Rajon Rondo will ever make up with Ray Allen. I think Garnett will. I mean, everybody's going, KG will never let it go. Truth is, I mean, Paul and KG are really close. And, I mean, these guys are people too. I mean, if your best friend makes up with your former, you know what I mean? You have three group of friends and two of them make up. Usually the other thing is the third one does too. And but I don't foresee Rondo making up. And you know what? For that matter, I don't know that Ray would want to make up with Rondo either. I mean, Rondo had a lot to do with how everything went down in the end with Ray. So I know there's a lot of animosity there. So I don't know, but I do know that probably and I don't know, I don't hang out with these guys, you know, I don't know for sure, but I would think from being observant that Rondo would be, not speaking to Rondo and being at that reunion they're planning or whatever, even though Rondo's planning it, I think it's tolerable. If Kevin Garnett is mad at you, I don't want to be anywhere around that. I think that would be obnoxious and really ugly, you know. So I think you have more of a chance of still seeing Ray come back for the 10-year anniversary of the championship. You know, if they maybe go on that reunion, who knows? But definitely for Paul Pierce's jersey retirement, you know, when they put his number up in the rafters. So I think you're going to see a Ray sighting. And don't forget, Ray lives up in New England. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a New England guy. Yeah, I love Ray. I always did. Now, I will say that the way he kind of interjected with the whole Isaiah thing was distasteful and kind of shocking for him because he's so media savvy. I don't know.
I think no matter what, you know, if they make up or not, they're going to realize they're always going to be connected with each other. So just bury the hatchet and be done with it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that, and it seems like, I mean, you can't tell me that Pierce or Ray didn't know ahead of time that they were both going to be at that event in China. I mean, they had to know.
They know.
Yeah.
There definitely wasn't like, oh, you're here. No, no way that happened.
No. So, I mean, I would think that if they wanted to, that would be the time. But who the hell knows what goes on with these guys, man? I mean, you know, I mean, they're multi-millionaires that are, you know, who we all assume because they work together that they're all, you know, supremely close off the court.
Right.
I mean, that's just our perception, right? I don't think they. Truthfully, look at Kyrie and LeBron. I mean, like, Kyrie didn't tell LeBron he was leaving. If they were such good friends, he would have. Look at Ray, and Ray did this similar. Look at Durant. He did the same thing to Westbrook. So, you know, I mean, these people have families and lives and people that they have to care for and lives off the court. I think I'm still trying to figure out what Kyrie means when he's constantly saying, I live in reality. I mean, and then he doesn't tell you what his reality is. But I'm starting to think maybe that's what he's talking about is, you know, the fact that there is life off the basketball court. But yeah, I mean, on the 10-year, I think it's going to be awesome because I do believe Ray's going to come back for Paul's number retirement. And Antoine Walker was on one of our shows this week, Causeway Street, and he said he was coming back for Paul's number retirement. So there's going to be an interesting variety of people over the years who's played with Paul that'll be there, and that'll be a fun, emotional day.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love I'm a UK. I love Kentucky basketball.
Right.
Antoine Walker back in the day. Oh, I love that.
Right.
Rondo, all of that. Well, I'm a little bit annoyed with Rondo because things could have handled a little bit better, but that's my team right there for college.
Yeah, man. I mean, Rondo. I mean, they've produced some great talent out of that school.
Oh,
you know.
Tell that to Steve. He don't quite get that yet.
No, I'm a Dookie, so.
I'm a Dookie too.
Yes,
so, but I can acknowledge. I'll tell you. I mean, what did he play? Kyrie played for Duke 10 games, right?
Yeah,
did
something
10,
like that. Yeah.
So I don't even know. I mean, man, to go the first pick, and then that first year that he was in Cleveland, I was just like, this guy's so good. Like, he just made it look easy.
Yeah.
He kind of did a lot of what Rondo did, but he could shoot. You know, and he was he could shoot. You know, and I'll tell you, I think he could play defense. He's kind of lazy. I think he doesn't give it the effort. And I think if anybody's going to get it out of him, it's Stevens. And clearly, he was wanting to go somewhere where there was a good coach because, like, 3 out of the 5 teams or whatever, I think had very strong coaches or front offices. So, you know, I think he's coachable. It sounded to me like in that first take interview that one of the reasons he left, and again, I'm putting words in his mouth, but I just reading between the lines, it seemed like he was saying one of the reasons he left was because of the coaching. He wanted to go where there was a stronger coaching staff. So that sounds to me like he wants to be coached. So if maybe he'll play some defense. But yeah, when he was in his rookie year, it's like this kid's so good, and then he got injured, and it was like, and injuries still are a concern for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need a strong backup because he's injury prone.
Yeah, I just like how he's a big game shot maker.
Oh yeah, he's got ice in his veins. I love it. That's the type of player I love. When you get a guy that and Ray was kind of that way too. He had ice in his veins. We're at the end of the game, if it's 2 or 1, you're down 2 or 1, and a guy like Ray Allen or at this point today, like Kyrie, Kobe was that way. And they got to have that ball, and I would be like holding my breath because you always thought it was going in. And it's nice to see Kyrie. It's nice to have somebody back on the Celtics that can isolate and do that, other than Isaiah.
Right. Absolutely.
Which is really nice. It's going to be a good year, guys. Just like I said, take it easy, have fun watching the team develop. And get some chemistry together, because it's going to take time. The first couple games could be very frustrating, or it could be very much opening night adrenaline and lack of Isaiah on the Cleveland side, adrenaline on Boston side could propel them to a victory opening night, and then they could very easily drop the next 2 games, and everybody in Boston is saying, oh my God, bring Isaiah back, even though he's injured,
right.
Whatever, and truth is, don't be surprised if in November they're barely a 500 team. I'm telling you, just you watch them develop, watch the chemistry happen, and let it ride after the All-Star break. That's when you really have to start building some sort of momentum going into the playoffs. It's that the last quarter of the season that's so important.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think Kyrie's just going to go off in that first game.
I don't know, man. I can't predict it, but if I were him, I would. He's got to have a chip on his shoulder. I mean, that dude, he has balls of steel. That's the one thing. We filmed last night here in Boston, and one of the things we discussed was that obviously First Take, and I don't know what I really took away from that, because he didn't give anything really solid. He didn't give anything concrete. He gave a lot of kind of running around the questions and a lot of nuances. But no matter if he gave the answers or not, I give him balls, because he did what he wanted to do. He left Cleveland. He left the best player in the world to go out and do it on his own. He's not denying any interview requests. In this case, he asked for the interview. So, give the guy credit, man. There's no question he's got guts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be a hell of an interview to get right there.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? And to have him call you, he called Stephen A. Could you imagine to have Kyrie Irving call you and say, "Yo, I got to get this shit off my chest," and you're the only guy I'll talk to. If you're like, "Oh, come on, I'm really tied up tonight, Kyrie. I'm busy.
Right?
Can we do it tomorrow? I mean, really? Imagine that. That would be crazy." But he was really he was there, obviously, I think, to change to put the narrative in a different direction. But man, he was cold. He was really pretty serious, man. He's a serious dude. Let's put it that way. I don't know what he eats half the time, but he's serious.
Right. I kind of wondered what Hayward initially thought after coming to Boston. He's with Thomas, then all of a sudden Thomas is gone, and you got Irvin now. I wonder what he was thinking about that when it actually happened.
Well, yeah, I wasn't in his head, but I know that he and Kyrie have had prior interactions. When he was a restricted free agent with Utah, Kyrie was recruiting him hard and then LeBron came back. Well, he said that in the press conference. So they know each other that way. And then also, don't think for a second that Hayward and Stevens didn't sign off on this deal. Right. Now, if they said no, Danny I don't think Danny would have done it if Brad said no. But if Hayward objected, Danny may still have done it. But you could tell if that's not the case. I mean, they had so much chemistry sitting at the conference room table and during the press conference. They were talking on the side and stuff during the press conference. You could see there was a lot of. You could see they're friends. So I think probably Kyrie was sad to see Isaiah go, but wouldn't be happy to get like one of the best really players in the NBA with who's so young, and I mean, it's just I would think Hayward really was just like, damn, I just got a step closer beating LeBron and getting into the finals, which is why I came here.
I wonder if half the reason he ended up in Boston was because Hayward was there after he was trying to recruit him in the first place. I mean, it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but Hayward was in place, and it wasn't that much longer, and all of a sudden Irvin was disgruntled and wanted out, so it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, let's put it this way. I just got done saying, like, usually you hear months, if not years in advance, when Danny has a man crush on somebody. And I never heard Kyrie's name. I mean, this one really came out of left field for me. I like when Kyrie got disgruntled, I was just the typical, skeptic saying, there's no way the Celtics are going to get him.
Right.
And then I'm thinking to myself, don't forget, too, we didn't know the extent of Isaiah's. Everybody was suspicious, but didn't know the extent of Isaiah's injury. So there were a lot of people going, oh, man, Kyrie's available, but I'd never part with IT. Right? So, I don't know.
Pretty much meant out to be a throw-in, basically.
That's what they say, right? I mean, but
that's crazy. Itself.
It's crazy, but I can see that. I think the 2018 draft pick, Nets pick, is more valuable than Isaiah at this point, because I think it has more potential. Isaiah is going to be on the downside soon. He's going to want a max deal as he's on the downside of his prime, and then a little guy like that with a hip injury, man, that is so scary.
Yeah.
So, well, you kind of took away my next question for you. You definitely got your finger on the pulse with the Celtics and your crew does in general. Do you think that the Celtics front office got a little annoyed with the whole Brent comments constantly?
I did. I don't know if they did. I mean, I know I was going, Isaiah. Sometimes Isaiah, I would want to be like, dude, just stop. Like when he would, even like after they won the Atlantic Division Championship, like in Boston, you never say that means anything, even if it does. And he was like, yeah, I never won one before. This is awesome, right? And like, oh no. So like the Brink truck thing was like, man, like, but you know what? Like it was really annoying me, and I don't know if the front office was annoyed with it, but I would think that it's not good business to be like flaunting it all over the media like that. And then there were the rumors that he was going to take a hometown discount, and then they come back and he says no, he won't take the hometown discount. So yeah, the Brinks truck thing, I mean, I just think it was kind of unnecessary. But I'll tell you what, it was some heavy trash talking against a really shrewd GM, and Isaiah bagged his trash, man. I mean, that the season he had last year was like, I don't know if I've ever seen a season that amazing. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
At least from a media standpoint, I think that was the best. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
He was putting up numbers like Bird, and I mean, I don't really need to get into the situation about Bird. Everyone knows about the man.
Yeah, man, I could go on and on about Bird, but we'll save that for another show. I don't want to bore anybody under the age of 30, but yeah, man.
I mean, you want to talk about a killer with a ball in his hands?
There was no more of a killer than Bird, right? Jordan was there, but Larry Bird in the last, Larry Bird, if he was pissed off, man, you just didn't stop him. It was just, well, he would predict it. I loved when he'd say stuff like, they'd be, going back to Boston 2-2 in what was probably a 5-game series back then. He'd be like, series is over. It's over. And even when he was hurt in the end. But, okay, you guys don't get me started on Larry Bird.
So before we let you go, Nick, where can we find you guys on the internet, social media?
Yes, so I'm at CLNS_Nick on Twitter. The company's CLNS Media. Same Twitter handle. Facebook, CLNS Media. The YouTube channel is really cranking right now. We have a new website launching the next week. And also there's our mobile app, which has all the podcasts So the videos go until the website launches. The videos go to YouTube, and the podcast, of course, are on iTunes and everywhere else. But if you get the mobile app, get everything from Celtics beat to the B-ball breakdown to Lakers Nation. I mean, Sixers beat. I mean, so there's a lot of great NBA programming on there. And guys, I appreciate you allowing me to plug some of my stuff and come on here and chill and talk hoops with you. And I'm sure we'll catch up again during the season.
Absolutely.
And keep up the great work.
No problem.
Thanks, fellas.
You're welcome.
See you later.
See ya. So Chris, we want to jump into the Patriots. Good win against the Saints last week. It's good. The defense struggled a little bit in the beginning of that game, but as the game went on, they seemed to get better at least. They did give up 20 points, but it is Drew Brees. So what did you think of the game?
Up and down. I mean, they did what they had to do to win. What Brady have, over 400 passing yards again?
Yep.
I mean, Belichick and his staff are the ultimate chameleons. They can change on the fly to what works and what doesn't work. That's one thing that's always been great about the Patriots. I mean, going forward, they still got issues, in my opinion. They're still missing Edelman badly.
Yeah, they haven't figured that part out yet.
In injury-wise, they're just ravished across the board with injuries. I mean, they're getting a little healthier now, which is good, but a very tough test coming up Sunday. People keep underscoring Houston's defense because, their offense is shaky. That defense is capable of shutting you down. They just about did it last year to you in the playoffs. If that offense has any type of success at all, moving that ball down the field, pouring points up, you're in for a hell of a game come Sunday.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good game. That Marcellus guy is an absolute problem. Watt's back.
Watt's back, and with Cannon's concussion situation, his ankle, that's a huge loss if he can't go because he pretty much puts the clamps on Watt.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm nervous. It feels almost like I'm not comfortable with the game. That's people who don't know. I mean, that's a good sign.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable
with it, they'll probably win by 30. But.
Right. I mean, I'm not gonna predict score, but it'll be close for most parts. Like you said, if their offense could get on track at all, but I think our defense is getting better. The whole Butler situation, was Bill phasing them out. Possible, I'd hope not. I mean, we were talked about before the season started how great the secondary was going to be. So
it's been somewhat disappointing, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Gilmore, I think he's still adjusting to the Patriot system. Now he's got a groin injury, too.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to mention. And, we're all talking about Butler. It's Butler. But we're not talking about Branch. Maybe he's sending the message to Branch also.
Right.
Maybe it's Branch that ends up getting sent that time and not Butler.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they keep Butler around.
Big call by you because... What was it? Sunday early, probably like 9 in the morning. You just were like, I get a weird feeling something's going to go down with Butler.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like, well, he's not really playing. He's talking like crazy about Jonathan
Jones, yeah. Yeah, he had a good game.
He's pumping his tires up like it's going out of style. So is he sending him a message? Who really knows? He's the ultimate motivator, though. You either do what he says or you don't.
Yeah, I mean, they did that with Sheard last year. 3 or 4 games in a row. Like, he either didn't play at all or he played, very little. But then towards the end, he came back. So hopefully that's...
What makes... Right.
Go ahead.
What makes me uneasy about with Branch, they asked him how come he didn't play. He said talk to the coach.
Yeah.
The last person who said that was Coney Ely. He's not here anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, you want to read between the lines. I think something's brewing there. I said it on Twitter earlier in the week. I said it in our Facebook group. It came up on Quick Slants. Trey Flowers, I think, is going to be the ultimate leader of the team at some point. He's going to be a multiple Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Look what he's doing right now. He's pretty much taking Wise under his wing as we speak. Now there's reports out where teams are starting a game plan around Wise. This is 3 games into his NFL career, and they're already game planning for him. That's pretty impressive for a rookie.
Yeah, that play where he like went around the edge and like his arms are like long as hell. Where he was he had the guy like draped on him and he was still able to reach with his other arm and grab him and pull him down. I'm like, holy crap.
Another one, he's going to be a tank.
Yeah, what a steal.
Bar an injury, obviously.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Him, they got that Razorback chemistry going on between the two. I love it. You know, I'm a defensive guy to begin with, so.
Yep.
I mean, there's people that make me a little bit nervous, like the linebacker they got from the Jets, Harris. He's like been invisible. He's hardly even played.
Yeah, non-existent. I don't know what's up with him.
Like, I think where you have Flowers and you have Wise right now, I would rather see Hightower go back to his natural position in the middle.
Yep, same here.
Get him, because to me, Hightower is the heart and soul of that whole defense. You take him out for any extended time, you're in trouble. Van Noy's coming around. Eldon Roberts had a pretty good game, but they're not Hightower stature in my opinion. Not yet.
No. I mean, I know I've heard people talk about, you know, the play in the Super Bowl where, you know, Hightower knocked the ball out of his hands from the edge. You know, I think part of the reason that worked is because he's... Yeah. I think part of the reason that play worked is because they weren't used to seeing him out there. It kind of caught him off guard.
And the running back didn't even bother to put a helmet on him. He just let him go right past him.
Jeez.
So if he puts... I mean... Just crazy. I mean, he's so important to that team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty much like the Julian Edelman of defense from the offense side of point of view.
Well, good news is he practiced a little today. So did Amendola. Limited, but...
Well, they're getting there. I mean, on our live show the other day, we had Don Cirillo on with us, and he had that great point about who's going to be the leader. You know, we had Edelman last year. Who's going to be the person to say, well, you know, stick it to him. Don't let your foot off the throat. Who's that person now outside of Brady?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, to me, I'm going to have to roll with Flowers again. I'm hyping the Flower train. I'm a fan.
Oh, me too. Like, you know, he was good last year, but he seems to be getting even better this year. So,
and like Steve Perry had said on Quickslants, like he's just a sponge for football. I mean, Bill loves people like that.
Oh yeah, yep.
I mean, he just loves people to live, eat, and breathe football, and that's Flowers. I mean, McCourty is a leader. Is he a vocal leader type, though, do you think? Because I really don't know.
I mean, on the field he seems to be. I don't know, like in the locker room, but...
Right. Hightower, I don't really know if he's that type either. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, they don't really talk about it a lot, obviously, but... And can't wait for Sunday, 1 o'clock. Hopefully the injury bug can go visit another team.
Right. I mean, you're getting healthier, but it's just a matter of, you know, another name that got out there today that hasn't really been talked about all that much, I think it's a big deal, is Slater. Slater's huge on special teams. Yeah,
he's kind of a vocal guy, too.
Yeah.
Like all those locker room celebrations, he's always the guy leading them. So.
Right. And even Harmon, I like Harmon too, but I don't know how much of a leader he is.
Right. Yeah, he just makes plays in the playoffs.
I think the team has to find its identity still. I don't think they've found that yet. I don't think they're going to Another 2 months, probably.
Yeah. I was gonna say, November-ish. That seems to be when they really start figuring everything out, gelling, all that kind of good stuff.
Right. I mean, they might have it and they might not. There's a lot of teams out there that's going to push them.
Yep.
AFC is obviously head and shoulders above the NFC right now.
Oh,
2
yeah.
weeks in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even close.
No, definitely not. So,
We'll
jump to the Red Sox real quick. They're rolling tonight. Sale pitching in the 8th inning. They're up 8-0. So he looks like he's back on track finally.
That's nice. I was sitting in the panic button the other day, and then they're starting to go off again. Another good sign.
Yeah, yeah.
If Sale's up that much, what's he even pitching anymore for?
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna ask you that.
That's one thing that irritates me with Farrell's. Like, he reminds me of Claude. Just stubborn to a fault all the time about stuff like that.
Yeah, he shouldn't be in there. I mean, no way.
There's no reason for it. You're up 8-0. This game's well in hand. Hell, I could go in there and shut the door, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I can at least get you to the 9th from the 8th. I don't know the runs I'll put up, but...
Yeah, I know before the game, Farrell was talking about David Price was going to be the closer tonight if needed.
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, this would be a perfect spot. 8-0 lead. No perfect pressure. Spot for him. Come in, get 2 innings, see you later.
Exactly.
But it's good.
I'm worried about the 3rd spot now because you know how big I was on Pfister. Huge.
Yeah.
I was like head over heels going for Pfister. And now he's just falling off of the ledge, so I don't know where to go at that 3 spot. No one makes me comfortable there.
No, I mean, Porcel or Erod, it's, like you said, it's definitely no comfort level there at all.
If you can't get someone to settle in that 3 spot, you are in deep trouble in the best of 7.
No, and Farrell, I bet he goes with Porcello.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, who are the 3 would you feel the most comfortable on that spot? That's the real question.
I don't know. I think I would give Erod a shot. But
see, he's Heckle and Jide.
Right.
He's crazy, too, so
yeah.
I don't know what you're going to get ever.
Yeah, that's like all 3 of them, though, lately. It's like, well, it's like...
Might as well roll all 3 of them out.
Right.
And then who's your 4th? Because you're still going to get your 4th. One of them's going to be the odd man out. It just matter who it is.
Right. Yeah.
I got a weird feeling what you're going to see is, like you said, I think Farrell's going to put Porcello in the 3.
Yeah, Porcello and then Erod at 4.
Will take the 4th,
yep.
And then Pfister will probably either be sent to the bullpen or not even make the roster.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. But...
And I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm almost stubborn to the point where I want to see Pfister in still.
Ride him.
I'm not comfortable with it.
Right.
I mean, Pomerantz is looking good, but his velocity is starting to slow down, too. So I don't know if he's getting tired or not. I don't know what his deal is.
No. Got anything else you want to talk about tonight, or do you want to wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, as always, thanks for everyone for listening. Get some of our merchandise at the Postal Center in Lee, New Hampshire. Tell Eli we sent you. He's also got some other great stuff there as well. Go to our website, www.diehardbostonsportsfans.com. Where can they find you on social media, Chris?
Chris the Hood 420 on Twitter.
Cool. Yeah, you can find me at We Play for Titles on Twitter. Also, Company One's Die Hard Boss Fans. Facebook, we're Die Hard Boston Sports Fans. Check us out there as well. As always, like I said, thanks everyone for jumping on. Have a good night. See ya.